As honorary mayor of Winston-Salem and the #1 celebrity YouTube real estate agent in the area, I wanted to make a video for not only people that are visiting Winston-Salem, but also for those that are considering a potential move here. That way, you not only have some good ideas of things to do as a tourist, but also we're going to go through some steps in this itinerary on how you can really evaluate the city and the suburbs to see if it makes sense for you and your family to move here. One of the most important things that you can do, especially if you're considering moving here, is when you get a chance to talk to the locals. And after talking to so many people that have done this, it's been a really good source of information for them as well, so I hope it works for you too. In the description below, you have a community guide and a link to my Google reviews. If we work together when you buy or sell real estate, you'll be in good hands. I even have that fake logo to prove it. But let's get started right on Friday when you get into town. First, grab a quick coffee or a snack either at Bobby Boy Bake Shop, one of the best in the state. Actually, James Beard nominated Bobby Boy Bake Shop is fantastic. Or try Camino Bakery. They have locations throughout the city. And if you're near the West End neighborhood or downtown, stop by Louie and Honey's Kitchen. They have great coffee and pastries as well. While you're there, take a walk through the West End neighborhood. You're going to get a sense of one of Winston-Salem's oldest historic neighborhoods. They have everything from affordable homes all the way up to multi-million-dollar homes in that neighborhood, but you'll get a good sense of Winston-Salem's history, kind of where it's going, some beautiful architecture as well. After that, if you've never been, head down to Old Salem, the museum and gardens there. It's like stepping back in time to when the Moravians settled here in the 18th century. You'll see beautiful restored buildings, cobblestone streets, and a really unique glimpse into the past. There are places where you can shop and eat in there as well, but Old Salem, if you haven't been, is definitely worth a visit. After you visit Old Salem, what I want you to do now is go out to some neighborhoods that you might see yourself living in. You know, neighborhoods in Winston-Salem have really distinct different feels to them, whether it's Buena Vista, Ardmore, Sherwood Forest, West End, or even the suburbs like Clemens and Louisville all feel a little bit different. So spend some time in those areas, and when you get there, pull out your favorite real estate app, take a look on there. It doesn't have to be a house that's for sale. It could have been one that sold recently, but take a look at it, drive by that house. Could I have bought this house in this neighborhood? And here's where I want you to stop also and talk to some locals when you can. If you're at a park or you know, at a local store or something like that, stop and chat with some people if you can. Find out what they like about the neighborhood. I think it's going to be really useful for you. Then this first Friday evening in Winston-Salem, let's have dinner downtown. Some of my favorites are Mission Pizza. They have some of the best pizza, pasta, and appetizers in the city. But you also have Sweet Potatoes, which is another James Beard nominated restaurant with some fantastic Southern food. A good steakhouse is Downtown Grill. Or head down to the Arts District for dinner, where you can go and explore just some galleries and shops and get an insight into Winston-Salem's more creative side, if that's your thing. The streets you want to go down for the Arts District primarily are Trade and Liberty Streets. And if you're down there in the Arts District, there's a few restaurants down there, but notably is Finnegan's Wake. It's a good Irish pub. They serve some really good food there. So if that's more your speed, you can really get an idea into Winston-Salem's more creative side. And then when you're done, stop by Artivity on the Green for a quick walk. All right, now on Saturday, we're going to get out. We're going to take a look at some art, nature, and different things like that in Winston-Salem. Saturday morning, head to the Ronaldo House and Museum of American Art. This used to be the estate of the Reynolds family. Not only is the museum great with art, but they have beautiful gardens there and arboretums. It's definitely worth walking around, taking a tour of the museum and the gardens. And while you're there, you can shop at Ronaldo Village. This is an outdoor shopping mall with a lot of different shops and restaurants, but also there's a beautiful park there that you can walk through as well. Or if it's during farmers market season, head down to Cobblestone Farmers Market. You'll get a really good glimpse into the local culture there. Not only is there a lot of food and produce vendors, but there's a lot of people there. It's good for people watching. They often have live music and activities. It's really a good spot to stop, do a little shopping, grab a bite to eat, and talk to some locals as well. Now for lunch on Saturday, let's go to Bailey Park and Innovation Quarter. A lot of different restaurant choices out there. There are also pretty regularly some food trucks out there, but this will give you a good glimpse into kind of where Winston-Salem's going in the future. You can see some of their medical research campuses, some of their tech startups and things like that, all down in Bailey Park and Innovation Quarter. Lots of good places to grab a quick lunch right down there. Or if that's not your thing, maybe you head down to Tanglewood Park and do some exploring down there. This is down in Clemens. This is a huge, over 1,100 acre park, and tons and tons of activities there. They have dog parks. You can rent a paddle boat. You can just go for a walk. They have pools, tennis courts. You can fish, you can hike, Lots of stuff to do down in Tanglewood Park, or if you'd rather, head down to Salem Lake and take a walk around there. That's a 7-mile loop where you can do all or part of that, but there's some beautiful scenery out there where you can also rent kayaks. You can also fish on Salem Lake. Or one of my favorites is the quarry at Grant Park. Beautiful scenery, some awesome green space, and a beautiful new park and playground for the kids. Okay, now Saturday, head back to some of those neighborhoods that you were considering from Friday, and let's spend some time in those neighborhoods on a Saturday night so you can kind of get a feel of what's going on. Find a restaurant in that neighborhood or right next to it. There are so many good mom and pop restaurants around Winston-Salem. I'm sure you'll be able to find one, but if you need a recommendation, let me know. So that way you can just kind of get out beyond downtown a little bit and just kind of be in the neighborhood, kind of see what it's like to be in a neighborhood. Or if that's not your thing, watch a movie down at Aperture Cinema. That's downtown. They have everything there from indie films to more current release blockbuster movies as well. Or even better, consider attending a community event. There are things going on every single weekend in Winston-Salem, whether it's a concert, a play, sports, you have, the Dash, you have college sports at Wake Forest and things like that, but really trying to get out into the community. I think it's a great way to not only connect with local people, but then just to kind of, again, get a feel for the city and its people at the same time. Okay, Sunday morning, we're going to do a little bit of relaxing, but we're still going to get out and explore some. Sunday morning, have a nicer brunch. Try the Catherine or Young Cardinal. Those are two of my favorite brunches in the city. If that's on your speed, you want something a little bit more casual, consider the Porch. That's kind of over in the West End neighborhood again. They have some really unique kind of Tex-Mex dishes there, a good brunch. Or again, you're right over there in the West End, Louie and Honey's Kitchen is always a favorite over there too. Now in the afternoon, think about those neighborhoods that you were considering, and now you'll want to spend some time, if education's a priority, taking a look at some of the schools and some of the campuses, and especially some of the universities. They offer tours and things like that on the weekend that you can do, but if not, get out to the neighborhoods where their schools are, and again, just kind of get a feel when class is not in session and see, what the campus, what the surrounding area is like, the parks, playgrounds, neighborhoods around that. All right, the rest of the afternoon, if you're with me, I'd say let's go visit a winery. Just outside of town, about 15, 20 minutes outside of Winston-Salem, is Metaloni Cellars. That's a great one. They have some beautiful views and sunsets. If you want to go a little bit further out, you have Piccioni and Raffaldini. If you're heading south, Junius Lindsay is a great one. Childress is very popular. Not one of my favorites, but it is a very popular one. And if wineries aren't your thing, consider going to a brewery. Winston-Salem has some really great independent breweries. Wise Man Brewing, Radar, South End. There are breweries all over the city, some really good ones, but this is another really good spot to just go meet some locals that are there hanging out, talk to them, find out what they like, don't like, what they really feel about the area. It would be a great way for you to get an unbiased opinion. And if that's not your thing, some good shopping in Winston-Salem is at Thruway Center, or spend some time somewhere. We're taking the kids somewhere like Caladium or Miller Park or Haynes Park, different things like that. Then Sunday evening, if you're not heading home yet, is a great idea just to kind of reflect. Think of some questions that you have, some things you would like to see that you didn't. If moving here is part of your plan, I'd love to be a resource for you. You can reach out to me with those questions, or start thinking of what you want to do on a follow-up trip, or just anything that you really didn't get answered in this weekend that you want to. Just start thinking about that before you head home while it's fresh in your mind. And if you need to buy or sell real estate anywhere in Winston-Salem or the surrounding area, I'd love to be a resource for you. You can reach out to me directly at jeff@govalentino.com. Thanks.